What it do? Bedtime crew. Hey man, listen. Today, I'm here to talk about UFC 302. We've got UFC 301. Obviously, I'm going to be headlining, taking on Alejandro Pantoja. UFC 300 is coming up very, very soon. I'm excited for that. I'm going to be dropping my full card predictions for that next week. And UFC 302, it's kind of the leftovers. We don't really know what's going to happen. We know it's going to take place in New Jersey. And we know that the first main card fight that's probably going to be on the card is Roman Dolidze versus my boy Anthony Hernandez. Anthony Hernandez, please save us, Anthony Hernandez. Please save us from Roman Dolidze. I don't know why I fucking hate Roman Dolidze. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But today, I've decided to build a full stacked pay-per-view main card for UFC 302. Let's get into this. First fight that I know is going to be on the main card. I do think Dolidze versus Hernandez will open up the main card. And this is a good matchup, dude. I saw some people talking about Dolidze versus Costa. I'm very glad that this fucking, robbery merchant, this guy who literally, I don't know who this guy's fan base is, that every time he has a fight where he just smiles menacingly and loses, they're like, bro, Dolidze got robbed, bro. Dolidze got robbed, dude. Robbery against Dolidze, dude. This guy fucking sucks. He fucking sucks, dude. Dude, Hernandez, I'm begging you to just mog this guy and get him out of the rankings because I'm sick of this fucking guy. He belongs on the Fluky Flukes tier list. I should have put him in that tier list because Dolidze's only skill is losing long enough for you to kind of stop taking him kind of seriously and throw yourself down into a submission against this guy. I think Hernandez is going to be able to put a pace on him where we see Dolidze, the one shooting, clinching, hugging, and I think Hernandez is going to melt him and we're going to get a TKO round 3, maybe late round 2 for Hernandez. He's already beat guys that train with Dolidze, and I just think he's a better fighter all in all, so I really hope Hernandez gets this win. And another main card opening spot for Anthony Hernandez. I think he should open up UFC 302. Let's move on to another fight that I want to see, and I never thought I'd say this. I want to see this fight in the flyweight division. This is a huge title elimination bout. I'm hearing a lot of rumblings. I'm hearing a lot of people talking about this guy coming to the UFC and fighting for the belt and being a big deal. All right, dude. All right. I'm sick of you guys yapping about this fucking guy. Kyoji Horiguchi, I believe that's his name, versus Brandon Royval. All right, Horiguchi. The only picture I could find of this guy was a 20 pixel screenshot of this guy from his UFC website in about 2010. The last time that anybody heard of this guy. He's coming from Ryzen. Apparently, he's the next big deal. He's the guy to fight Pantoja next. If Horiguchi is actually coming back to the UFC, I know who he is. It's just a joke. But if he's coming back to the UFC, I don't think he deserves a title shot straight away. He should be fighting Brandon Royval. That makes perfect sense to me. Winner of this has earned a lot of legitimacy to fight Pantoja or Urseg. Let's be real. Urseg's going to be champ to fight for the belt. Horiguchi, you don't get to come into the UFC. Bro, you are not Demetrius Johnson, buddy. I don't care what Joe Rogan has to say about this guy when he gets signed back and he gets put on the crowd cam at UFC 300 and the crowd's kind of like, oh, who is that? What is that? And Joe Rogan's like, this guy's a savage, man. This guy is an absolute marauder at flyweight. He's coming for the belt. I don't give a fuck, bro. If this guy can beat Brandon Royval, okay, you can get a title shot. And if Brandon Royval wants to get another shot at Pantoja, I don't think he's done enough beating Moreno. He has to beat like a new name. He has to beat an exciting kind of new contender. I think this fight makes a lot of sense in the flyweight division. Plus, probably going to be a finish. Like, these are two exciting fighters, so I will give them that. Give me Royval versus Horiguchi as the second fight on the card. Now, let's move on to the middleweight division. I've got a huge, almost title elimination bout. This can be a title elimination bout if you want it to be. And that's what I like about this matchup. You don't have to give the winner of this a title shot because, let's be real, nobody's going to want to see the winner of this fight for the belt, even though it would be interesting. Like it's kind of hard to explain, but when you see the names, you'll understand. I want to do Jared Cannonier versus Brendan Allen. Pause, okay? Before somebody comment, bro, you didn't even say pause after that. Grow up, all right, dude? And yeah, man, we're going to do Jared Cannonier versus Brendan Allen. Number 4 versus number 6. I don't know if you guys noticed this. Brendan Allen is now ranked number 6 in the middleweight division. And now, I am an MMA YouTuber. I'm not the brightest, fucking bulb in the shed. But I'm pretty sure that beating number 12 ranked, what's his name, Paul Craig, does not get you to number 6. So I don't know who the fuck Brendan Allen knows in the media that got him ranked 6th, but I'm going to just assume that he's going to beat Chris Curtis on short notice. If he loses to Chris Curtis, say goodbye, buddy. But I'm going to assume that he beats Chris Curtis. He will actually have kind of earned a decent top 10 ranking. I would say put him at around 8, 7. But the UFC has shot this dude up to number 6th. And they love to just put random people up the ranking. So we might as well capitalize on it. Let's do Jared Cannonier versus Brendan Allen. Interesting matchup. You've got the leg kicks of Cannonier. The power that he has. His cardio has improved a lot as well. And his grappling looks pretty solid. Brendan Allen, of course, one of the best jiu-jitsu guys in the middleweight division. If he can sub Cannonier, dude, if he can finish Cannonier, I mean, Izzy couldn't, Strickland couldn't, Whitaker couldn't. So if he has a claim that I finished Jared Cannonier, you could give him a title shot, especially if, you know, Dricus stays the champ. I'm assuming Khamzat versus Dricus is what the UFC wants after Dricus fights Izzy. You could do Khamzat, you could do Brendan Allen versus Sean Strickland too. There's a storyline there. That's a good matchup. You could do Brendan Allen versus Khamzat. If Khamzat loses to Robert Whitaker, you have a lot of options. You don't have to give the winner of this a title shot because, like I said, does anybody really like? I like Jared Cannonier, but is anybody like, that's it, guys, give Jared Cannonier the title shot? We don't want to see Izzy versus Dricus, right? Unless they're like a complete heart. They're the same people that want to see Horiguchi fight for the belt, but most normal fucking people are not like clamoring, losing sleep over Jared Cannonier fighting for the belt next. So I think it makes sense, and I think it would be a good addition to a pay-per-view. Let's talk about the co-main event of the evening. And this was a tough one to find. I'm not going to lie. This was a tough one to find because the UFC has really like put a lot of good fighters and a lot of energy into UFC 299, UFC 300, and whatever's left is going to UFC 301. They fucking brought back Jose Aldo, bruh. They literally went down the UFC 5 alter egos, selected Prime Aldo, put that motherfucker back in the UFC. So they clearly don't have a lot of options right now for names, but there is a fight that was supposed to happen that makes sense with the main event of this card. That is a big deal. Like, the winner of this will get a title shot next, and that's 100% set. All right, and you know, you can have a big star show up to the pay-per-view as well. Let's do Cory Sandhagen versus Umar Nurmagomedov. I know I just made fun of Brendan Allen for getting put up the rankings. Umar's another perfect example. Who has bro beat in the rankings? Your guess is as good as mine, but he's ranked number 10. Cory's ranked number 3. The UFC fucking hates this guy now. Let's do Cory versus Umar. Whatever's going to benefit Cory Sandhagen, if he wants 5 rounds, I think we could do that. We could continue the trend of co-main events like Poirier versus Saint Denis, right? Where the guy that's near the top could get a title shot, but kind of needs a win, like a big win, needs to fight down the rankings a little bit. Cory doesn't need to do that, but we could continue that theme. And I think him versus Umar is a big deal. A lot of people are kind of rumbling about Umar Nurmagomedov now. You can kind of sell the pay-per-view based on like, this guy's the next Khabib, dude. If he wins this, he's going to fight Sean O'Malley, bro. Like, you can have Sean O'Malley there for the pay-per-view. He can promote the fight. And you know as well as me, dude. Let's be real here, guys. If Umar Nurmagomedov wins this fight, Merab, you're going back to the Apex, buddy. You're not fighting for the belt, dude. You know for a fact, bro. If Umar finishes Cory Sandhagen, I think he would beat Cory Sandhagen. I know that's unpopular now because he got hit once in his last fight and dominated the rest of the fight. He might actually win this fight. You know, if Umar goes out there and finishes Cory Sandhagen, Sean O'Malley's jumping in that cage, bro. Sean O'Malley's getting on his pod. Dude, Umar, I would sleep Umar so bad, you guys. You know that fight is getting booked immediately, bro. Immediately for the Sphere. They're doing Umar versus Cory, bro. Umar versus O'Malley, bro. You know Merab is getting sent packing to fight fucking Cheeto. You know Merab's getting sent to flyweight. Like, they're getting him up out of there, dude. And for that reason, I think the UFC would be stupid to not try and make a big fight out of this. Let's do Cory versus Umar as the co-main event to what I think will probably headline this card. You know, Bedtime's a good dude. Bedtime gave me a fucking title shot, dude. You know, he didn't have to do that. You know, in times like this, you got to be graceful, dude. I think Islam versus Poirier is going to happen. I just have like, they're both weirdly quiet now. I think this fight's going to get made. And I think if you're going to make it a big pay-per-view in the States, you've got to have Umar on the card as like Islam's kind of bodyguard, but you can also build them both up as like Khabib 2.0, right? You've got Poirier teammates on the card. Grant Dawson's already on the prelims. He trains at ATT. Horiguchi trains at ATT as well. So you are building a pretty realistic card here. And I think that this would do decent numbers. Like, people fucking love Dustin Poirier. I'm not going to say I'm the reason, but I'm just saying when I started liking Dustin, everyone else started liking him again. I'm just saying, dude. When I dropped that video, maybe it's Lucas Tracy's fault that we all love Dustin now, but I know that you never thought you'd see this day. If you've been subscribed to me for a while, you probably never thought you'd see the day where I'm campaigning for Dustin Poirier to get a title shot, but a pay-per-view needs a headliner. Islam is, for some reason, dead set on fighting in June right now. I think we all know why. He wants to hurry up the division so he can fight the winner of Charles versus Arman or Gaethje versus Holloway. Should really be Gaethje versus Arman and Holloway versus Charles, but it is what it is. In the meantime, Dustin versus Islam. Do I think Dustin wins this fight? Absolutely fucking not. Like, bro, absolutely. What do you want me to say, dude? I'm not gonna make a video. Guys, seriously, man, listen, dude. I think Dustin can win this fight, man. I really do. If he lands a punch, dude. If Islam gets knocked out by a punch, I think Dustin might win, guys. Seriously, dude. I really do, man. I'm not gonna try and lie to you here, but I do think this would be an interesting enough headliner. With the card I've built, you know, you've got Cannonier versus Allen. That's a big matchup. Cory versus Umar. That's going to do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. You put together a decent prelim card as well. Like, you add maybe Gelton Almeida versus Marcin Tybura, because they're both coming off relatively short fights. Almeida was supposed to be on this card, so you might as well just keep him on and do him versus Tybura or him versus Spivak. Another fight I'd like to see on the prelims would be like Dustin Jacoby versus OSP. I think that'd be a decent matchup, but this is the card that I'm thinking would be good for UFC 302 in New Jersey. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think Dustin versus Islam is going to happen? And what do you think of the card that I built? Let me know in the comments down below, guys. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, go follow me on Instagram at Bedtime MMA. I will see you in the next video, boys. Goodbye.